Let's talk about what really happened with Park Na-rae. One day, she was one of Korea's most loved comedians. The next, news exploded that she was a nightmare boss who abused her staff. Fans were in total shock. How did the friendly, funny star from TV become the center of such an ugly scandal? The story involves secret early morning meetings, illegal vitamin injections, and a bitter war between Park Na-rae and two young women who work for her. This isn't just celebrity gossip. It's a story about power, pressure, and the hidden cost of fame. It all started quietly in November 2023. Two of Park Na-rae's managers, both women in their 20s, quit their jobs on the same day. To Park Na-rae, this felt like a sudden, painful betrayal. She said they were like family, and she had no idea why they left. She felt hurt and confused. But the managers tell a completely different story. They say they didn't suddenly quit. They finally snapped after more than a year of unbearable pressure. So what were they dealing with? According to reports from people close to the situation, their job was a 24/7 nightmare. Park Na-rae loves to eat, drink, and throw parties. The managers were always on call, day or night, ready to run errands for these gatherings. Imagine getting a message at midnight, "Go buy live octopus right now," or "Find special lighting for my party." They had to do it immediately. They also handled all the setup, cooking, and cleanup, often paying for things out of their own pockets and waiting to get paid back. But the real problem was the anger. The managers claim Park Na-rae had a terrible temper. In one incident, she got so mad about something that she threw a glass. A piece of it hit a manager's hand and she had to go to the emergency room. They kept quiet and kept working. They needed the job. But everyone has a breaking point. The final straw happened on November 8th. Park Na-rae was about to leave to film a TV show for 2 days. She was getting her hair and makeup done at home. Suddenly, she told the managers to find a specific wine glass and a mat. Her house is huge, and they couldn't find the items quickly. In front of the visiting hairstylist, complete strangers, Park Na-rae started yelling at them. It was humiliating. In that moment, both managers decided they were done. They finished the TV shoot to be professional, but the next day they went to Park Na-rae and quit. After they quit, the fight turned to money. This is where the story gets really messy, with both sides telling opposite tales. Park Na-rae's company made a big announcement. They stated that the full and correct severance payment had been issued to the former employees. But then they got greedy. They demanded an extra 10% of our company's yearly sales, hundreds of millions of won. They made the managers sound like blackmailers. The public started to turn against the two young women, but the managers fired back with their own story. They said, "No, we did not get our full severance." They claimed Park Na-rae never paid them for all the insane overtime they worked. They showed records of working over 400 hours a month. That's more than double a normal job. All those late-night octopus runs and party cleanups added up. They said the money they were asking for was just their back pay and a bonus they were promised. The 10% wasn't a random demand. They said Park Na-rae had verbally promised one manager a share of profits to convince her to come work for her new company. So who do you believe, the famous star or the invisible staff? The court of public opinion was split. Just as people were trying to figure out the money fight, an even bigger bomb dropped. The news outlet Dispatch reported that Park Na-rae was using an illegal injection ant. This wasn't about workplace stress anymore. This was about breaking the law. The report said that because Park Na-rae drank alcohol so often, she would get secret vitamin IV drips from an unlicensed person to recover quickly. These injections happened at her home and even in a moving car, which is highly dangerous. They also illegally disposed of the medical waste. This changed everything. Netizens were horrified. Abusing your staff is one thing, but breaking medical laws is serious. It painted a picture of a star who thought the rules didn't apply to her. It showed the extreme lengths she would go to keep up her busy TV schedule. The Ant Jew scandal made it much harder for fans to defend her. With this legal scandal blowing up, Park Na-rae tried to do damage control. What happened next is the strangest part of the whole story. In the early morning of December 8th, around 3 a.m., Park Na-rae called one of the former managers. She asked to meet and talk it out. The manager, who had been drinking that night, went to Park's home in Itaewon. This became the famous Dawn meeting. For hours, they talked. Park Na-rae reportedly focused on their good memories together. She was emotional, talking about their past friendship. She even had a drink, but the manager wanted to talk about a practical solution, a signed agreement about the unpaid money. They wanted to settle this legally and finally be done with it. The two sides weren't connecting at all. The manager, exhausted, eventually fell asleep at the apartment. The meeting ended around 6 a.m. with no real agreement. Then, a few hours later at 11 a.m., Park Na-rae posted an official statement online while the manager was still asleep. In it, she said, "I was finally able to meet my former managers yesterday. We resolved our misunderstandings." The internet went quiet for a second, then erupted. exploded. The managers and their lawyer were stunned. From their side, nothing was resolved at all. No paperwork was signed. They felt tricked. They believed Park Na-rae used the emotional meeting to make it look like everything was fixed, just to win public sympathy. That move destroyed any last chance of a peaceful ending. The aftermath was brutal. Park Na-rae's new TV show was canceled before it even aired. She announced she was taking a break from all broadcasting, a huge deal for a top star. More problems surfaced, like the fact that her talent agency wasn't properly registered with the government, another legal issue. So, what's the real story here? It's more than just a celebrity scandal. It's a look behind the curtain of fame. It shows the incredible pressure Korean stars are under to work non-stop. It reveals how that pressure can create a toxic environment for everyone around them. Most importantly, it gives a voice to the young staff members who are usually invisible. The people who run the errands, take the anger, and pay the price for a star's lifestyle. Park Na-rae built her career on being the relatable, funny girl next door. This scandal shattered that image completely. It asked a tough question: how well do we really know the celebrities we love? The lawsuits are still going, and the full truth may still come out in court. But one thing is clear: the story of Park Na-rae and her managers will be remembered as a powerful lesson about power, accountability, and the human cost of fame.